Hi everybody. I would like to walk you through how to make these interactive lawn fawn cards. Kits are available. The kit includes all of the papers, pre-die cut, pre-stamped. All you have to do is color them and follow along to assemble them. So let's get started. I'll show you the samples and go over what needs to be colored. If you're working along with me, then maybe you can pause the video, do your coloring, and then start again. So the first one is this cute little Car Critters reveal wheel. Aren't they darling? So you can see that you'd need to color the car and the nose, the packages, and the antlers, and then the images that are on the actual wheel. The next one is using Lawn Fawn's new shutter card. This is the easiest interactive card die that they have made so far. The die comes with the pieces to make this belly band. And then it opens up and you can see that little scene on the inside. So that's what you need to color for this card, is just that little scene that's in there. And here our magic iris gets used as a snow globe. This is the snow globe add-on for the magic iris card. And this one, what needs to be colored is the image that you see inside there. This last one is just cute. It's not interactive, but it probably has the most coloring because you're going to have to color all of these backgrounds plus your car and your tree and your nose and your antlers. So we're going to start off with the reveal wheel. I swapped up the sentiment on this, by the way. You can always start by folding your card base in half. And if there's a layer that goes over top, you can go ahead and use your tape runner to adhere that. And then I'm going to set that to the side. So the kit includes a white layer with the windshield cut out and a couple pieces of patterned paper. This is a little, money saving tip for you when you're going to use multiple colors to make a background. This is kind of pricey paper, so instead of cutting a full layer out of this gold foil dot paper and then cutting another full layer out of, or partial layer out of this glitter paper, we just cut it out of inexpensive white paper and then did pieces that we're layering over top. That'll stretch your money a little bit further so you can buy more dies. So we can put together our car here, decorate our car a little bit first. I just like to use a glue tube for these little pieces. Set our little car off to the side. Your reveal wheel is all stamped already. As I mentioned, you need to color it in. So you have this scalloped piece, and then you have a small little white circle, and you also have a brad. This white circle adheres to the back of your scalloped piece. So the head of the brad is on the back side and the prongs are on the front side. And then you want to use small foam dots or squares on this smaller circle. You want to put 4 of those on there, spaced around the brad, and you don't want to go off of this smaller circle, otherwise your mechanism will fail to work. Now on this decorated layer that has the glitter paper on it, I'm going to put some foam. I like these foam strips that are by scrapbook adhesives. So I just went around the edges here and put a piece up here in the corner. You want to be careful because any place else and you'll be impeding the movement of the wheel. Don't ask me how I know that. This other layer that doesn't have the windshield cut out of it is going to get placed on the card base. So we can go ahead and put foam all around that. We're going to go back to our card base. We're going to peel off our backing. Now, notice that this is the solid piece that I'm working with next. I'm going to put that down on the card base. So this is going to be in position. I do have it over to the left just a little bit. to make it a little easier to get in here. You also have in your kit a teeny tiny little arrow that will hopefully encourage the recipient to know that it's something that they have to turn. And so I have my little critters showing through this window here on the top layer. I have my foam dots, just these dots, not on this layer. I have the liners removed on the dots. Now I'm going to line this up on the card. And press down. So what that accomplished for me is to have my wheel in the perfect place. Now I can come along and pull the tape liner off of these. Now we can glue the card to the front. Use the foam lines for this sign. One line fits perfectly down the post of the sign. And I decided to change the sentiment here, just because I felt like the season's greetings fit a little bit better on the card. So that's our first card, the reveal wheel with Christmas car critter add-on. Let's move on to the magic iris. So there's lots of pieces to this card. Let's start off by putting our iris together. This is from the original Magic Iris die. So we have this first piece that Kelly calls a flux capacitor, and we have these 3 other pieces that they call sausages, because that's kind of what they look like, or balloons. And they have this little tab that tucks into the little notches that are on the flux capacitor. So you tuck those in place. And then you need adhesive dots that are no larger than 3/16 of an inch. If they're any larger than that, they're going to get in the way. And there's a little tiny X on each one of these sausages that gets marked with the die. So that's where you're going to want to place your little adhesive dot. So now you're going to take one of your plain circles. Make sure that your opening here looks nice, that everything's lined up pretty well. And now you're going to take a plain circle and lay that over the top and press down. And now we will turn this over, and you can see here that there's like a little dotted line here. There's one here, one here, one here, in between each one of these cutout notches. That's where you're going to place your stabilizers. You can use tape runner to adhere this. So I'm just going to put a line of tape runner, and I'm going to take a stabilizer and go to the center. See how the circle mimics? The stabilizer has the same curve to mimic the circle there. And we'll repeat this with each one of them. So at this point, this is what you should have. Now we're going to take the pull tab, and we have a little decoration on here that has an arrow also. I'll go ahead and put that on. One thing that's important to remember is to have your iris closed at this point. And now we're going to adhere the pull tab. So you'll have this snow globe shape cut out of red paper. We're gonna dissect this a little bit. You can see a score line around the base here, and we're just gonna cut that off. We're going to save this because we're going to use it. But we want this piece to hold the top of our iris together. You don't really see this, so it really doesn't matter what that's made of. So we'll gently close our stabilizers, and you can see that you have an iris that opens and closes. It's hard to do it on the fly when it's not attached down, but there you have it. So now we can finish decorating. So we're going to put this patterned paper circle over the top. We can use tape runner for this. And then we use this very pretty pearlescent vellum to go over the top. The little trick with this is to put your glue, just use liquid glue, around this stitched line, and the stitching hides the glue pretty well. Now we're going to flip this over. I'm going to use the foam lines again, but you only want this on your stabilizers, not on any other part, because again your card won't move if you put it in the wrong place. Most of the time, if an interactive card doesn't operate properly, it's because the adhesive's in the wrong spot. So you have some pretty glitter paper that'll decorate the base. want to make sure when you put your iris down that your pull tab here fits on your card base. Otherwise your card won't fit in the envelope. So I'm going to put this down. Now we'll put our base on. Put the sentiment on here. I thought this one was cute with the gingerbread. We're going to open the iris, put a little bit of glue, and we'll just glue that down in there. So cute. So the last step, you have snowflakes that were cut out of that same pretty glitter paper. And you can just place them with a little bit of glue over that top layer. And there's our second card. Now let's do the shutter card. This piece of patterned paper was cut out with the shutter die. I'm going to fold along the score lines. Take the bone folder. So this die has these pieces here. It doesn't cut that. It just makes a little mark on your paper, which can be difficult to see when it's patterned paper, but you can kind of feel them when you run your finger over it. What I like to do is just find them and make a little mark with the pencil. For these shutter pieces, I'm going to use score tape. And we're going to place that on the top. Burnish this down. Put together the snow globe for this panel. This panel's an add-on die. The main die comes with everything that you would need to do this. You just have to do a little extra work with some measurement, but it's completely possible to do, so you don't necessarily need the add-on. It just makes things a lot easier. So that's one add-on, and then this snow globe is another add-on to the shutter card die set. And so we have that piece decorated. We'll come back here to do a little decorating. The kit contains these pieces that were cut from the same paper, and they're rectangular, but you can see a little difference. One set is shorter and they have scored lines on them. That's what you use to make the belly band. These are the panels that'll decorate the front of the gate. So this is scored, it has 2 score lines. So we're going to fold on that one that's more toward the center. So this is how our band kind of grows up, if you will. So these score lines here aren't really for to fold on. They're more of a guide of where to place your adhesive. So there's our belly band. We're just gonna cover up the front seam with this beautiful little circle that says "Let It Snow." So let's go back to this card base. We're gonna take one of these and pull our tape liner off. we're going to go back to these little marks that I had made back in the beginning, and your shutter piece will line up in between those marks, and the scored piece on your shutter will line up with the score on your card. Once you get those lined up, you're going to close your card. And that's going to pick it up. And that side of your shutter will be in perfect position. Probably want to use your bone folder to reinforce that. So now we're going to repeat this on the other side. So I took my tape off. I'm going to line my shutters together, and you can see the edge of this shutter lines up with the score on the card. And then we're just going to close the card. Open it back up, and we're going to fold this over and again burnish on the score line. So in order to get this shutter to work, you need to have these little points at the top and the bottom going opposite of one another. So here I have the right at the bottom, we have the right one on top, and then we're going to want at the top, we're going to want to put the right one at the bottom. That's what makes this operate, is just making sure that those are opposite one another. It's as simple as that. And it doesn't matter which one's on top and which one's on the bottom. You just have to have them opposite one another. So now we can come along and put this centerpiece over. And then with your card open, you can just put your little scene inside. And there we go. You just slip on the belly band and the card is finished. The belly band is going to be tight to begin with, so just work it on there a little bit. You can show it your way of doing things. So that's our third one. The last one isn't interactive, it's just cute. This is a 4-bar card, so it's a little bit different size. Sometimes it's nice to take a break from the A2. start by putting the sentiment up at the top of the card. And the next thing I'm going to do is decorate our car. So we have to have Rudolph's nose on the car. That's too cute. I'm just going to put some foam on the back of this so it's ready to go. Some people rip foam tape, but I don't have good luck with that. Now I'm going to build the scene from the bottom up. Just going to put a little tape runner along the bottom edge of each layer so I can stack them. This die is the Stampin' die. Was designed for a standard A2 card, so some of it overlaps a little bit, the edge of your card. So I'm just going to get this in place and then I'm going to cut off what hangs over. I'm just going to use my scissors to cut these off. You can put it in your paper trimmer if you'd like. And this is just a little piece of black paper that's in the kit to make it look like the road. And we'll put our car on here. And that's our fourth card. So you have 4 adorable cards here. Now more than ever, it's really important that we keep in touch with people and, you know, send. Everybody loves to get happy mail, right? So when you make a card like this, I think you really tell people that you care. So like I said, the kit includes all the papers, all the stamping, all the die cutting. You just have to color and assemble. That's the fun part. The kit's only $22. You can give us a call or order online. It is on the website under kits. And we also have a link in the video. Thank you for watching.